everybody. I'm here with Juan Castro, title rep, and very knowledgeable guy, 30 years doing title. So I wanted to ask him a couple questions, and so you can get some great information. Bankruptcy attorney has to file a order to avoid a lien. So how many times in your 30 years have you seen an attorney actually do that?
Well, I did see it done before, but it's not done very often. When people file a bankruptcy, in the title perspective, what we're looking for is to make sure that the item has been cleared, reconveyed, or satisfied. Normally, what we're doing is doing a public search, so those documents are there, and if it's still open and we don't see a release or satisfaction, I have to reflect it on my prelim. That's an opinion of title, and so there it stands. And many bankruptcies need to file an order avoiding lien, so that if we have to look at the bankruptcy, there we could then eliminate that item from public records.
So it might be a good idea to ask your attorney, do you know what an order to avoid a lien is? So they can actually file it for you, because if it's not done, it'll be a little bit of a complication with your title when you're trying to sell or inherit or anything like that. After you file for bankruptcy. And then your debt's not forgiven. Your debt's forgiven, but your title won't be clear. So.
Yeah, it happens very often, and sometimes people are disappointed, and I can understand why. But because we have to reflect what's a record, that's a record, and sometimes you're right.
I'm sure people are very upset because they expect their attorney to get everything processed,
Yeah.
so then it's not done, and then they gotta run around it.
And it's not that they don't know; it's just two different jurisdictions. Bankruptcies are filing under their jurisdiction, and title, when we do our work, we're filing under the way we do our stuff, our process.
Now, there's been some caregivers that have some elderly people sign a form, right? Like, so they can inherit their property, or they can gain title to the property. Is that easy to do?
Actually, it is quite easy to do. Documents can be prepared by anybody, notarized by anybody, or of course by a notary, and then filed at the county recorders. There's no one standing there observing what documents are to be recorded and not recorded, unless it's involved in a transaction. So if you feel like someone might have recorded something on your chain of title and it was without your approval, one checks and balances that the county recorders actually does send a notification and acknowledge that something recorded on your chain, and they're going to send it to you so that you're aware of it, and this way you could either address it or know that the process has been handled already if you're buying or selling. So it does get a little bit complicated. Now, if for whatever reason one does get recorded and you were not aware of it and you believe something is done incorrectly, title, we call documents that get recorded without insurance of title or escrow, we call those uninsured. And if anytime we see those, they're a red flag, and we will address them by asking them to fill out what we call an uninsured affidavit. So we recognize the document being of title, we just don't accept them until our uninsured affidavit is done, which confirms and acknowledges that what they attempted to do and that recording of that document is confirmed.
And you had mentioned about how we have rent control.
Yes.
And all California, and that's not going to be forever.
Well, there certain cities obviously have their rent control or their rent ordinances. State of California went into different emergencies, state of emergency, so a moratorium was thrown in there. Some cities have picked it up and now utilize it. Some, like in the unincorporated area, we are currently now in a state moratorium in unincorporated. So we're all following one or another, and highly expect the expectation of knowing all this is very difficult. So I would definitely point you to an eviction attorney or a process that does that.
And you were telling me about fasteviction.com?
Yeah, fasteviction.com. I was just happened to be on a webinar, and the people on there were very useful, very friendly, and we were just chatting about their services. And so that's one person or a company that was very hands-on with your situation, and they were great.
Yes,
Great to
you
work with.
guys do require that.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a
And when did
wonderful
that
day.
come into effect?